What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. We're back in Historic yet again with another Jund list. So, Amonkhet Remastered, been brewing on a ton of cards. Obviously, Zombie as well, but here's another one that people were hyped for back when this came out in Amonkhet Standard, but didn't really see a ton of play. It's probably better in like a Brawl or Commander type environment, but that's not going to stop me from trying to run it in Constructed here as well. Obviously not in Standard anymore, so we're in Historic. Hapatra, if you're not familiar, it's a 2-mana 2/2 legendary human cleric. Whenever she deals damage to a player, combat damage, you can put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So that's any creature. So if you want to put it on her, you could. Whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. So it's one or more. So you don't get a 1/1 Death Touch token every time you put a counter. It's just every instance of putting counters. Doesn't matter how many counters that is. So just something to keep in mind. You only going to get one token, basically, no matter how many counters you put on a single target. And so this initially started off as like a Hapatra and a Scarab God, just kind of a control, kill your opponent's creatures, have a bunch of those -1/-1 counter creatures as well. But it just didn't quite feel right. Maybe I just didn't have the right build of it or whatever. But I just kind of scrapped the idea and tried to reimagine it and say, well, what else can we do with that? And we have things like Subira. It's one of the new cards from Core 21. Haven't seen a ton of play, but a really fun card. Maybe not competitive, but it's fun. 3-mana 2/3 haste, which is always nice. You can pay 1 to give another target creature power 2 or less. Can't be blocked this turn. Well, Hapatra is 2 power. So you make her unblockable, get through, put a counter on one of your opponent's creatures, make a snake. So now you have a nice 1/1 token that can sit back and block. And in the late game, you can pay 2, tap her to discard your hand, and until end of turn, whenever creature you control a power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And so if you notice her first ability here, that 1, you don't have to tap it. So you can do that and pay the 2 to tap her as well. So 3 total mana to make one of your creatures unblockable. And then discard to draw additional cards. So not really going to be discarding like relevant cards, obviously. You're going to wait until you're kind of empty-handed and then try to get some value off of her. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of play around with that kind of a strategy. And there's lots of good cards in Jund colors that kind of synergize with Subira in kind of a roundabout way, if you will. Like not quite super aggro like you would maybe think of her, especially a red creature here as well. Things like Murderous Rider, which are, of course, nice removal, and then it's kind of a 2-powered creature. Same thing here with the Ravenous Chupacabra, another 2-power creature. But then we're kind of running with some other kind of fun stuff here. We got Chevill, which was another original part of the engine, and this is still here. It's another legendary 2-mana creature here, 1/3 Death Touch, and we put bounty counters on things, and then when those things die, we get to draw cards, gain some life. And Knight of the Ebon Leech is another creature we can kind of make unblockable, and then we can activate it after our opponent is unable to block it. We'll just pump it up. So that's kind of a cheeky thing you do. Obviously, once it gets multiple counters on it, then you can't really do that because it's going to be power 3 or greater, and you can't make it unblockable. But if it only has just a single counter on it, maybe, then it's a nice target for Subira, and then you can pump it up afterwards. And if you're at that stage of the game, you probably have mana to do both, to activate Subira and pump 3 mana into the night. So it could be relevant, and just lots of kind of efficient removal here. We got Eliminates, we got Abrade. This is one of the premier removal spells back in Amonkhet Standard, and this thing is still certainly on the short list of removal spells you should be considering if you're in red. Doing 2 damage to a creature or being able to destroy an artifact. Obviously, we have things like Embercleave in the format. So definitely having mandate counters for that. And then one little copy here of Assassin's Trophy, just kind of a catch-all removal spell for instant speed. Let's have a 3 Garruk's Harbinger. It's a 4/3 hexproof from black, and we get to look at however many cards it deals damage into our library to get a creature or a Garruk Planeswalker, which we're running 2 Garruks, which is nice because it pumps up all of our smaller creatures here and makes them +3/+3 with trample. So that's great with Hapatra, Chevill, pretty much everything. Murderous Rider as well with a lifelink, making a 5-power lifelink creature with trample is pretty cool. And if you just need to get some more creatures on board, if your opponent's wiped your board, you can just -2 and make a 3/3 beast token. Let's have a Maelstrom Pulse, because I want kind of a 3-mana answer that can destroy anything, and Maelstrom Pulse, it does exactly that. It does a sorcerer speed, but it does have the upside of potentially killing multiple things. So if your opponent has multiple of the same permanent type out, you get to kill all of them with this one spell. That's pretty sweet. And of course, we're in Jund color, so at least a couple copies of Quest and Beast feels pretty strong. We're kind of trying to be aggro, but also a little bit controlling, and Quest and Beast kind of does it all. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. And just all this ridiculous text. Got one copy here of Vraska, and just nice versatility here that fits in pretty nicely, I think. And then one copy here of Chandra. She's pretty nice in late game. You know, +1 for both of her abilities here to deal 2 damage to any target. So you can hit planeswalkers, smaller creatures that are still around, clearing the way. And obviously that works really well with things like Hapatra, putting -1 counters on tokens, because now their creature that they thought was 3-4 toughness, well, we put a couple counters on it, and now Chandra picks it off, no problem. So it's kind of a cool little bit of a synergy if it comes to that. And then, of course, once you're empty-handed, you've dumped out all your removal spells and your creatures out, and you can just +1 discard and get a bunch of new cards to play. And then we'll still have 2 Scorpion Gods in here. Maybe just one is right. Hasn't really been super impactful in the games I've played it in playtesting, but still want to give the Scorpion God here a chance. Doesn't see a ton of play back in Amonkhet Center, but it's a pretty sweet card here. 5 mana, 6/5. Anytime a creature with a -1 counter on it dies, draw a card. So that's kind of why you'd want to be running like a bunch of -1 counter synergies, but again, I just didn't quite feel good enough. But you can activate 3 mana to give -1 counter on another target creature. So, you can do this in response to a creature dying, whether it's your own or your opponent's. Depending on how they block, or just runs like a board wipe, you can just put -1 counters on everything and just draw a bunch of cards. So a little expensive, but certainly something we could do. And then when it dies, it goes back to our hand at our end step. All right, mana base here, we got 2 Ifnir Deadlands, so some more -1 counter synergy here. We can pay life to tap for black. These Amonkhet deserts and lands are super sweet. And pay 4 mana to sack a desert, which we can sack this most likely, and to put 2 -1/-2 counters on a creature on our opponent's side. You can only do that sorcery speed though. 1 swamp, 1 mountain, 2 forest, 4 Blood Crypt, Dragonskull Summits, Overgrown Tombs, Woodland Cemetery, Rootbound Crag, Stomping Ground, and then just 1 of Field of Ruin for a little bit of hand hate, or not hand hate, but Field of the Dead, or any kind of a land, non-basic land hate. Sideboard here. Got some Thought Seizes, Grafdigger's Cage, Fry, Return to Nature, Golden Demise, Prowling Serpapard, Ashiok. Prowling Serpapard, maybe not something you're familiar with. It's a it's a pretty interesting card. It saw some fringe play, but it's a it says the spell can be countered, and creature spells you control can be countered. So we do have lots of removal and some planeswalkers and things like that, but we're mostly creature based, and so this is just kind of a nice 4/3 for 3 mana with our creatures can't be countered. So that's pretty cool. Alright, jumping into matches, see how it does. Alright, up against Roxas. Gotta go first. 1 land? No, thank you. We're missing red, but we have all these cards in hand, so it looks promising. I'll try it. Alright, question, to go with Chevill or Hapatra? Let's go Chevill. Alright, like to find some lands here. See what our opponent's doing with land or elf. Just elf ball. Yep, looks like it. Dragonskull Summit. That's kind of cool. Let's go and do Subira. And we'll attack with her. We'll take it. So Chevill has Death Touch, so it's a nice kind of wall while we're kind of digging for stuff. But our opponent's going to be going off here pretty soon, I'm sure. Let's see if they put the mana into Wildborn Preserver if they want to cast something. Nope, they're just going to pump up their Preserver. If they do attack in it, we will trade. Well, we'll just play Hapatra. Can't really do much else. We can make our Chevill unblockable, but 1 point of damage, not really worth it. Rather keep Chevill back on defense. It's going to make it hard for them attacking with this Preserver that they're investing all this mana in to pump it up. Icon of Ancestry, sure. So love to find some lands here, please. Another Visionary. Oh, they're drawing a million cards. There's a land. Alright, let's Chupacabra and get that Preserver off the board so we can draw some more cards, gain a little bit of life. Do we attack in? Our opponent can go off. Let's force the issue here. I mean, Hapatra's not really doing much if she can't get through, so... Her trading off with the creature is fine there. Okay, they're going to pump up the team. Skyway Sniper. Hit for 6. We got it. Unless you want to go to this Archdruid if possible. Oh, land's not going to do it. Oh, we'll just Garruk and make a token. Try to put up a wall best we can. Play a Blood Crypt, and maybe next turn we have a Rootbound Crag. 6 mana, so we can potentially play 2 creatures, or a creature and a kill spell. Great hand. Yeah, that's probably going to be good enough to help him win. So this is going to give him a ton of card advantage with every time they play creatures. And getting a bunch of life to make it hard for us to catch up. Now, without a sweeper here, there's not much you can do against Elf Ball unless you really just kind of go off on them, get the upper hand, and put them on the defense. But then even then, they just kind of rebuild so quickly. We have Golden Demise, kind of helps. Yeah, we just need to find any removal there. Take out the Subira and Garruk. Return to nature. That doesn't feel very good against them either, so let's bring in that and Ashok. Since they do have some ways to kind of search up, obviously Icon, but they also have like Elvish Clan Caller and things like that. Maybe Fauna Shaman, they could be running something like that. The Fauna Shaman don't see a ton of play, or whatever it is that... Basically they have elves that can tutor up things, so... We have all the lands but 2 Garruks. That's super slow, no removal. Not good enough. I think we'll have to put the Subira away. I also want to keep this Murderous Rider to kill stuff. Well, trying to Chevill, we're going to get that online. So I'm missing a black source for Murderous Rider. Oh, we do have Assassin's Trophy now, but probably want to put a counter on something first. So it's 2/2, and they're going to make a 1/1. And another one, wow. Alright. I mean, we can draw a Cry of the Carnarium, but it's still... We don't have black mana to actually make that work. That's not really cutting it. Oh, we got a free attack. Yeah, I don't really see a way out of this though. They're giving me the blocks. Wow. Oh, they do have Paradise Druid, so maybe they have a trick. Nope. They just want to push damage. Cool. I also want to kill the Archdruid. Chandra can do. Maybe it's not the right play with this board, but I do like it. Maelstrom Pulse could be decent. So we're kind of controlling their board, but it's a very running a very thin line here. I also want to get rid of anything that's going to give them advantage. And Chandra coming in clutch. Whew. Our opponent only able to apply, not able to play a bunch of creatures as they were the previous game, and so we were able to just hold on. Felt like that was a little bit premature, but I guess they were just a little frustrated. Obviously, we were gaining life and drawing cards thanks to Chevill. But we weren't really pushing the life total too much. I mean, Questing Beast was kind of... That's... Look at that. That is a hand right there. That's the best hand I've ever seen. Wow. Alright, fortunately left the bottom are Garruk. Alright, so we have Chevill and Eliminate. Oh, Blood Crypt. We have to shock in just to get the Chevill online, and then hopefully get some value with this Eliminate killing something. Hapatra. Could be Maelstrom Pulse as well if they happen to have another. Right, fire you off, draw a card. Keep their board nice and clean, don't give them an opportunity to pump it up. Play the tap land. Sego. I don't think getting for one is super critical here. Get the Visionary. Ooh. Having the Questing Beast. Ooh, we don't have double green though. So you play Hapatra, and we can still eliminate. That's fine. Ifnir Deadlands. So we have all the black mana, but not. We'll go and attack. We'll put some pressure on. We're up to 24. We'll see what they have to say about that. Can't imagine they attack with Paradise Druid. We'll take it obviously if they do, but we'll see. There's a perfect. Swing for 3. Nope. Alright. Still missing the appropriate mana sources here. But yeah, still think we need to get that off the board. Well, we'll attack both. If they want to block Paradise Druid, that's fine. They do. Didn't have any other way of dealing with it, so that's fine. We certainly have 3 Hapatras in the deck, so if we draw another one, that's pretty reasonable. Alright, let's keep them off of a ramp. Chupacabra, we'll save the Murderous Rider in case they do have like a Nissa or something. Still cannot find the green manas. Well, we're controlling the board, but now they're up to, what, 5 lands? Elvish Rejuvenator? That seems pretty terrible in an Elf Ball deck. Gotta admit, that seems pretty bad. There's Overgrown Tomb. I have 6 mana if we do this. That's fine. It's Questing Beast. Swing 2. Keep Chevill back to could double block it. Don't want that. Down to 11. We're up to 28. I have a lot of lands here though, so we'll see if they can go off. No, Icon. So they can start digging here. Elvish Visionary. We can return to nature that. Thorn Lieutenant. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah, destroy you. Let's swing. I'll see what they do. Block Chupacabra. And double block Chevill. That's fine. We'll destroy you. Lose our Chupacabra, but we got some pretty nice value, I would say. Stomping Ground. Definitely need some more green. Opponent's down to 7. We're up to 29. 2 cards in hand. What do you got? Obviously, Nissa could kind of shake things up here pretty nicely. Obviously, any attacks we're not going to block. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have multiple kill spells here. Harbinger, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can still Chupacabra. So yeah, Chupacabra. Draw a card. Subira. That's pretty cool. We'll save it. We'll swing both again. See what they want to. See if they want to go for the double block again. They do. Well, we're going to target it, and you're going to get a 1/1. We'll get that off the board. We get the Paradise Root off the board as well. Whew. So now taking it to Elf Ball. Alright, we're going to blanket with birds. So we'll be on the draw here. Our opponent. There we go. Well, it's a little awkward having the Ifnir Deadlands, but that's fine. Let's play the Knight here on 1 and followed up with Eliminate or Hapatra. A little painful, but that's alright. So it's just Elf Ball again. I just played Elf Ball. I don't want to show see Elf Ball again. Can't we attack with all this pain we've taken from these lands? Oh, just mono green Stompy or something? Dragonskull Summit. We'll just hold up Knight of Ebon Legion. Garruk. Okay. Domri's Ambush. Yeah, looks like we're just dead here. If we draw a land, we can Chupacabra, the questing beast. But other than that, not looking too good. Swing all. Keeping the Llanowar back. Take 5, go to 7. Not technically dead yet, but we do need to find an answer for this questing beast, or we are pretty much dead next turn. Bark Hydra. It's a Hapatra. Cool, so stuck on lands. They had the questing beast pretty quickly, even though they were a little slow on lands there. Not really much to change, maybe Thoughtseize, but against aggro this, not really. We have lots of good removals and things like that, but we just need to not play like that, basically. Obviously them going first helped out quite a bit, and yeah, having that early questing beast is so clutch. Even if your opponent has removal, you still probably need to get in forward usually. Well, got our own questing beast this time. Got the Abrades, got the Chevill. It's a much better hand. I'll have to get the Chevill online, hopefully not have to Abrade anything, but obviously want to keep them off ramping into stuff. We'll just do this and hope they don't have any anything left to worry about just yet. Pelt Collector, okay. So that's probably going to be our Abrade target. Have all the ramp now. Subira's okay. Destroy the Pelt Collector, draw a card before we play our land. Let's see what we get. So Woodland Cemetery. We'll just play the Deadlands. Let's say go. Once again, Llanowar Elf and Paradise Druid. So see we got questing beast again. Nope, just a Pelt Collector. Another Paradise Druid. Well, it's a Hapatra, and let's keep these Pelt Collectors off the board. We're getting life off Chevill, so we don't have to worry as much about a questing beast on our opponent's side. Of course, the longer we wait, the worse our questing beast gets, but it is what it is. We love to play that next turn. Our opponent has a lot of lands. Bone Crusher Giant. If they want to trade, we skip to draw a card off of it. Kind of have to, otherwise we just block it next turn. Or they just can't attack. Another Chevill. Alright, next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Garruk. Plus 2 drop if we find something, or Subira maybe. Cool Spellbreaker. We're at 29, so yeah, if you want to swing in, go for it. Okay, they have shot. Just Garruk and make a 3/3, so we can trade the Spellbreaker now. Let's get the tomb down. Am I blocking? Maybe. They do have a card in hand. Is it Embercleave? It's not Embercleave. Alright, well, let's kill you. Draw a card. Harbinger. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So this gets 6. Yeah, they can't kill it. We'll just swing with Chevill. If they do have a way to deal with it, we have another one. Opponent down to 14. Some nice value off this Garruk. Feels good. Obviously things could change quickly though. Questing Beast will definitely block and trade off with our Harbinger if we can. It could be a Domri's Ambush they're holding in hand. They have something that they've been holding on to. It is a Domri's Ambush. Well, so they can kill our Garruk now if they want. Not quite. They can deal 3 damage. Hapatra. Ifnir Deadlands this, I'm not sure that's worth it. We just want to keep our board state open to us. We'll attack with Subira here, I think. They just take it. We got lots of mana to sink and to make some stuff unblockable. So make Hapatra unblockable next turn and kill their Llanowar elf. Wow. Alright, so that was a much better game 2. No Questing Beast for them, and that was kind of the difference. But now they go first. We will aggro, so we'll probably lose. But hey, we had a pretty decent game 2 there. One land, yep. Well, I guess I'll have to put the Scorpion God to the bottom. Try to build a deck around you, buddy, and never get to play him. That is Arena for you. Turn 1, Pellet. Yep, I got the nice aggro star. Oh, they have Mulligan too. That's So we're going to be taking some damage here. Markhide Troll. Wow. Well, we have multiple Chevills, so yeah, let's play one. Try to get some value off of it. Probably taking 6 here though. Gruul Spellbreaker. We're taking 9. Pretty terrible spot. Even without Burning Shame, I'd say Gruul on the play is still pretty strong. So yeah, us not getting value off of Chevill has made a huge difference. We still have one more in the deck, so maybe. We've cleared their board, but we're at 9. We got no board state ourselves. We have a Hapatra and a trophy still, but not looking good. Obviously, Llanowar Elf isn't amazing for them. Alright, well, Hapatra, and we need to help this Murderous Rider. Obviously, we can't kill a Gruul Spellbreaker, since it has Hexproof on their turn, but anything else we can deal with? Questing BZ or whatever. Pel Collector, we got it. Yeah, I want to kill that. So it's more mana efficient, that way we can still hold up a trophy on future turns. See if they got a trick here. Nope. Bye-bye, Llanowar. Oh yeah, just the way we drew it up. Hapatra. Getting those snake tokens. So I got a nice 1/1 Death Touch blocker that can at least kind of hold down their attacks for hasty threats. Bone Crusher Giant. We can block the Bone Crusher with our 1/1. Do we give them a land? I think we need to save this. If we activate, so after this plus 4, I think, yeah, we still have trophy open, I believe. Yes. So now we can swing in and gain some life. So if they find a questing beast or something, we still have a way to deal with it. And if they attack in, we can easily block. Which would have been able to block anyway, that. Looking at their graveyard. I don't know if anything Gruul aggro that has to deal with their graveyard, but. Q. Chandra. Yeah, let's get rid of that questing beast. Or, obsessed with the questing beast. Alright, Bone Crusher Giant, get rid of that. So have the 1/1 Death Toucher, can block most things. Wow, our opponent must have just had all lands or something in hand, or maybe Domri's ambushes. Alright, so somehow this list did well for us. Obviously, we have lots of good removals. A couple cards. Let's celebrate here. Not a good card. Hey, Grim Tutor. That's pretty sweet. I'll take it. Alright, so yeah, still think there's some fun to be had with -1/-1 counters, but it's probably more just strictly for jank play. But yeah, it was nice kind of seeing this deck put in some nice work. So now it's been putting in results. It's kind of a feels like a little bit of a pile, but there are some kind of hidden synergies and things that actually work pretty well together. Unfortunately, Scorpion God. I always want to call it Scarab God. Scorpion God here just weren't really able to get much value. It's kind of the same thing in playtesting. I just run in 2 copies, but just never seem to find it. Or when I do, it's kind of like the game's already kind of decided. So maybe probably just go down to one Scorpion God, or maybe probably just none if you don't already have this card. You know, it's a mythic, so it's kind of hard to justify wild cards on something like this. But it's a fun card. Definitely, probably better off on like Brawl and things like that, which I've been working on. So hopefully, we do have the historic Brawl FNM come up here pretty soon. So if I can showcase that, been working on a list that involves this card. But yeah, Chandra felt pretty strong as a one of, but yeah, I think maybe Scorpion God can come out. I might just go down to one and maybe bring in like a Vivien Reid, old 5-mana Vivien. Where you at here? There you are. So that way we can kind of get some more card advantage going, and that way we're not doubling up on like Chandras or things like that. So we have multiple, so we can have you know, all these out at the same time potentially. Because yeah, she can look for creatures out of our top 4 cards, and she can -3 to be removed for artifacts, enchantments, or creatures with flying, which we don't really have any flyers ourselves. We have lots of good removal, but might be nice to actually have like a Vivien here. So maybe that's the way we should be running this. But yeah, Vraska never really made an appearance either, but she's just a really solid card all around. Of course, Quest Beast doesn't really need much explanation. Chupacabra is pretty clutch as a 2 of, or as like on 4 of, trying to get, I don't think about Subira, but in the day, just 2 seem pretty reasonable. You know, we have the eliminates and things like that. And I also want to like the trophy as like kind of a catch-all. Obviously, you don't really want to ramp your opponent generally, but have as like a 1 of that can kind of kill something, anything at speed. Feels pretty good. You can even destroy land, so you can blow up a Field of the Dead if that does not get banned. And obviously, we're mana base. Thanks to Historic, we have some really great lands here with Rootbound Crags, Woodland Cemeteries, Dragonskull Summit, so that makes it very easy to play. Something like this, that's kind of an aggro mid-rangey-ish list, where we can be aggro with our Knight of the Ebon Legion, into like Hapatra, and like Subira, and things like that, into Harbinger. So we have some routes where we can be the aggressor. And then some Planeswalkers here that gives us some nice value with Garruk, making Beast tokens if our opponents wiped our board. Vraska being removal and card draw. Chandra and Vivien also doing the same thing, Agnes removal and card advantage at the same time. And then finally here the Scorpion God. Just want to really see this dude get a chance to shine. So yeah, feels pretty good. Obviously there's lots of room to kind of play around with it, but this is the kind of shell I've been running. Like I said initially, it was kind of the Hapatra putting -1 counters on things. There's definitely some decks. I'll still be working on that and trying to make some brews, but I'll probably end up more on the unranked jank side of things. But yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Sideboard, definitely tweak it to your advantage. I'm not entirely sold this is where we want to be. Fry. Obviously we need Grafdigger's Cage to deal with like goblins, but again, if that gets the ban, then it could be something else here in this slot. And same thing here with Ashiok. You need some kind of graveyard here, obviously. But it's nice to have ways to kind of stop the flash decks and things like that. And then Return to Nature. We don't want to run Brontodons or anything like that. I think Return to Nature is just a spell that can kind of kill stuff. Seems pretty reasonable. But yeah, that's where I've been running, and it's been doing pretty well for me. So I felt like running it in ranked, and that was a pretty excellent showcase of it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, make sure you jank with